Welcome to Classie and Sassie with your host Yvette Beamer. Yvette is dedicated to her faith, family, friends, and women from all generations while giving back to the community in various ways. I am blessed to have you in my audience and hope you enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, I am Yvette. This is Classie and Sassie, where we're celebrating women one conversation at a time, and I have the Sherry Restifo here in our living room, Classie and Sassy living room. How are you doing today, Sherry?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good.
Are. We literally, guys, just came from a woman in charge marketing networking group lunch. It was off the hook, off the chain. They had cameras. We were giving money away to women.
Yes. And I happen to be one of the recipients.
Yes. That is an added bonus to this one. She is a recipient of a grant that we give, Women in Charge give to women. They apply. There's judges that are not part of the group, and they judge the application. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
You should be. And I see here that you brought some beautiful items for us to shop and touch. And we all like that, don't we, ladies? I love it. And so what we're going to do today, we have Sherry here. She is a master at what she does. She is a makeup artist and esthetician.
Yes.
And we're going to dig into how she got started. Can you do this if you have a talent and you really want to go and just change people's lives like that through makeup and creativity and making people feel not that you're not beautiful, but sometimes you just add a little splash.
Absolutely.
And there you have it. Like, I know I need some splash. I'm probably a little bright here too, but that's okay. She has some stuff to help with that. Sherry, tell us, how did you get started in this business?
Oh my gosh. Well,
or your career?
I actually got started back in the early 2000s, and it sounds like so long ago, but
I know, but it's really not in the grand scheme of things.
No, I was spending a lot of time in the restaurant business. So I was doing everything in the restaurant business, and then I finally did some soul searching when I went to visit my parents who lived in Orlando at the time.
Yes.
And then I decided that I wanted to be kind of a Mac girl. The Mac girls.
The Mac girl. You love some of those Mac
girls
women.
were like the coolest girls on the block, right? Because they were all in black and they had their makeup all done up well. So
yes.
I wanted to be a Mac girl. So I decided to apply to Mac Cosmetics, and I got the job.
That's wonderful.
I got the job.
Hard to do.
It is a bit of a interview process.
Yes.
They make you kind of jump through hoops. They make you bring in a model, apply makeup on the model, and mind you, I had no experience with makeup because all throughout high school, my mom kept me away from wearing makeup. She did not want me to wear eyeliner. And that's all I wanted to do was wear eyeliner.
Yeah.
So she just did not want me to wear it. And the only times I wore makeup were for homecoming and prom.
Oh,
and that was it.
I feel your pain because I grew up in a very, we're going to talk about very faith-based. My dad was a pastor. And when I grew up, you just didn't wear makeup. That was something you didn't do. You didn't wear makeup. You didn't wear jewelry. It was all about being very modest and just and for girls like us, sometimes you're different, and you're treated differently because you're not with the group or the crowd or something like that. I know people out there watching us have probably felt that way before, and so that's.
Yeah, and obviously my parents came over from Korea in 1969. And growing up with my Korean parents, they were very strict. Everything was very centered around academics. And so this was not on the radar at all. So I actually laugh sometimes because I went into this profession and knowing how my mom kept me away from it because of her being so strict, that I gravitated more towards it when I was able to, when I had the freedom to.
Girl, I just feel like they didn't want you to look like Jezebel or a hoochie mama, or you know what I mean, lady of the evening, and that's how that related apparently.
And I understand that, but at the same time, if you can imagine this, back in the 1980s when I was younger and growing up, there really weren't a whole lot of Asian people in the media. So for me, I didn't have anything to model my looks after, because, you know, I subscribed to 17 magazine, to, you know, Cosmopolitan. Like, I subscribed to all of the magazines, but there was nobody in media that looked like me. So it was very hard for me to figure out how to even do my own makeup.
Okay, so
Yeah.
with that being said, did you find that mentor? Did you find that person, or you just found it within yourself?
Well, I didn't find it until I actually started working for MAC.
Okay.
Yes, and so when I started working for MAC, that's when my whole entire world opened up, because honestly, because some of those makeup artists that already worked for MAC really looked at me and said, oh my gosh, your eyes are amazing.
Ooh.
And I had never heard that throughout my entire life. In fact, I grew up absolutely hating my eyes because I was made fun of when I was younger, because honestly, we grew up in Maryland. It was not diverse. My brother and I were probably the only Asians that were in the school. So every single day, I feel like I was getting made fun of for my eyes and how different I looked.
Right.
So I grew up absolutely not enjoying how I looked and not appreciating my features. So when I started working for MAC and someone actually said, you're my favorite type of eye to work with, I was stunned.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what do you do with my eyes? Because my eyes don't look like your eyes. You have a crease. I don't have a crease. I have a monolid.
Yeah.
So to me, someone with a crease, you can do so much more makeup on. But according to that makeup artist, I was a complete blank canvas.
That's what we are, ladies. We're canvases. And
Yeah.
and just for to be creative and such, the fact that you even talk about a what type of lid? A
Monolid.
A monolid
Yes.
and a crease.
Yes.
Girl, don't know even what I have. Mono, crease.
You do have a crease.
I have a crease.
Most people have a crease.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are some people that, you know, will have a monolid without being Asian. You know, that's okay. I mean, it's just all different types of ethnicities out there.
Right.
But most Asians, I mean, and this was the other thing. My mom had these beauty magazines from Korea that she would pick up at like a Korean market.
Right.
So I would flip through it, and here's the standard of beauty over in Korea. They actually want to westernize your eyes. So they actually have, it's like such an everyday procedure to actually westernize and get the crease like you have.
Oh.
So I was flipping through the magazine. I'm like, why are all these Korean people, why do they have a crease? Because that's not normal, right? That's not what we're born with.
Mm-hmm.
And so the pressure to get something like that done was a little bit on the high side. My mom offered it to me several times throughout my life. She was like, do you want to get this operation to, you know, get a crease? And I'm like, not really. Not really.
I do think as we get older and we start finding our place and what God has called us to do in our life, and those dreams come alive in you, and you didn't really realize it until you did go to MAC. But you're a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And I love, I think you're wonderful. So tell us a little bit about being an esthetician. So obviously they kind of go hand in hand, makeup, skincare. So tell us what we do wrong with our skincare. I mean, here we are.
How much time do we have?
Absolutely. But no, like just real quick, you know, we live in Florida. It's very hot here. Hot all the time. Mm-hmm. Humid. So tell us.
Yeah, so here's what is interesting. So the esthetician side of things came to me a little bit more recently. So this has really only been a little bit, probably about a year and a half, you know, that I've been doing facials and stuff on women and men. But basically, I want to throw that out there because men need they need a lot of help too.
They do. They need a facial girl.
They do. They really do. But my whole thing with skincare is like noticing what women's habits are. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that a lot of women don't have an actual regimen.
Right.
They are not very consistent, and they are horrible at makeup removal.
Yes, guilty on all three counts. I'm telling you
what. Yes.
So obviously we're very busy. We're moms.
Yes.
We're business owners. We go to school. We're at college. So tell me, how do we get into the actual regimen of that and realizing how very important that is for our skin?
Absolutely. So typically when people come to me and we do a little bit of a skin analysis, because everybody has different types of skin, and I love skin because it's so complex and it's so dynamic. Everybody is different. So I need people to understand that it might take a little bit of time to actually figure out a regimen that your skin loves and that you love, you know, because there's two different things, people's preferences, and the other one is what's best for their skin and how their skin reacts. So I like to work with people, and this might take a month, up to a month, sometimes 2 months, you know, for us to really nail down the actual regimen. But I like to find out what it is that your goals are for your skin, because is it that you want to glow? Is it that you want hydration? Is it that you want to be less oily? You know, there are different goals that everybody has for their skin, and there's a different regimen that goes along with each of those goals. So
I should have had you do my makeup for this episode of Classie and Sassy. I don't have a lot on, but you know, I think there's something to be said too about less is more natural beauty. And you can get that by using the appropriate type of products and your appropriate type of makeup. So tell us what a session would be with you. When somebody comes, is it free? Is it complimentary? I mean, obviously we want to.
So I've actually, I've paired up and I've aligned myself with a company called Lime Life by Alcone. And Lime Life by Alcone is actually just a collection of professional grade makeup. And some of these products have been around for decades. They've been used in TV, film, runway, really in that professional realm. And these are some of the most sought after products of makeup artists all around the world. But now it's available to everyday women. There is a little bit of a learning curve with it because it is a professional product, and most people are just not accustomed to the high quality, the high pigmentation. I've seen people use certain makeup and they are like literally digging into their makeup to try to get some pigment to show up on themselves. This is like literally a tap is too much because it's so pigmented, right? So I enjoy people to come into the studio, or I could travel, you know, to people's homes or offices or wherever it is that they need me. And we go through the whole thing. I like to go through skin prep all the way to daytime look to nighttime look. It really is tailored again to the client because not everybody's interested in putting a full face of makeup on, and that's okay. If you're a mom and you have 5 minutes of time, let's get you into some sort of 5-minute routine where you're looking polished but not crazy, you know?
Not having to take 5 hours away while your children are out there tearing up the place. I get what you're saying.
So usually people come in, I mean, when they want a full lesson, you know, from beginning to end, it takes about 2.5 hours. And it goes by fast. It sounds like a long time, but it really goes fast because I do half the face and I have you copy it on the other side because I need to know that you understand the actual application technique. And if you don't, then I'm there to correct you.
That is nice, guys. Listen, women, how awesome is that? And I'm a firm believer. I mean, as I get older, my kids are, you know, grown basically. And I got a tiny bit more time to do some things. And I just think that as women, we need to take that time for ourselves and pamper ourselves and do what we need to do to make us, you know, feel beautiful and good. And if that's taking, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to cough.
It's okay.
But if that's taking these beautiful products and using them correctly, and you know, I see that you have a lot of things here. So show us some stuff.
I brought some of my favorite things.
Yes.
Okay, so we are known for our signature jeweled glosses.
And I have one of those, by the way.
So basically, they are pretty looking. They make great gifts. A lot of ladies love just having them in their purse just to touch up with just because it looks pretty. These are just a nice sheer wash of color. You know, it's not going to be like super long lasting like what I have on my lips currently, but it's a sheer wash of color. I feel like it's age appropriate for anybody from a teen to an adult. They moisturize and they're not sticky. So that's the distinction between, I would say, our glosses versus some of the other ones out there. They're not sticky. And so that does make a huge difference. These are our liquid matte lipsticks. This one is what I have on my lips currently. And they're some of the best that I've ever tried before. And I've tried several different liquid matte lipstick formulas. Some of them leave your lips feeling like sandpaper. They have like a weird texture to it. These go on super creamy and then they dry to a matte finish and they stay a very long time. Like this lip right here, I put on What time did I wake up this morning?
Uh-oh.
I put it on probably around 8:30
okay.
this morning, and I have not even touched it up yet.
Wow, that is amazing.
So it usually I only touch up one time, and it's only in the middle of my lips because I've been eating and drinking.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have my makeup on for 16 to 20 hours. You know that I'm nocturnal, so.
No, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so they're really popular. I would consider myself an eyeliner connoisseur, both in liquid eyeliner pen form and also pencil form. And we have two of the best eyeliners that I have ever used.
Yes.
Our gel liners, pencils. These actually are gel and waterproof. Okay. So you put it on, and you wait about 15 seconds. You have 15 seconds before it sets, and then it's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Like, it does not budge.
Is that what you have on your lid right now?
So I usually use pencil for under my eyelashes.
Okay.
And then underneath on the bottom waterline. The one I have on top that you see with the point and the wing, that's going to be the liquid eyeliner pen. And I'll tell you the difference between our liquid eyeliner pen versus other ones out there. It's actually a bristle tip. So because of that, I feel like the distribution of the product is actually more even. So you don't have like these inconsistencies of like too much product and then you're trying to clean it up, or trying to squeeze some product out of it because it's drying.
Gotcha.
Okay, so not only is it consistent with how much product you're getting out, but it glides over the skin because it's a bristle tip. So a lot of pens are felt tip, and felt tip will catch on your skin.
Yeah.
And so it ends up looking bumpy, whereas this glides right over, and it smooths it out. It's a perfect liner.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And then some of the other things that I love, real quick, that I think are absolutely essential if you're a makeup wearer, is our makeup removing spray. Because remember, at the beginning I told you that people really are horrible about removing their makeup properly.
Yes.
This is, to me, an essential item. This is oil-free spray that you just can spray directly on your face and just start rubbing gently, and it dissolves everything. Waterproof, water resistant, everything. It just dissolves it nicely, and then you can just wipe it or wash it right off. So I love this stuff, and I love this brush cleaner.
I know you always on Facebook are putting out those notices, ladies, it's time.
Yes, I remind everybody to wash their brushes weekly, because if you're using your brushes weekly, you should be washing them every single, like daily, I mean, you should be washing them weekly.
Okay.
Yes, and this is a great soap, and I've used many different brush soaps before. This gets everything out, all of your foundation creams, liquids, lipstick creams, all of that stuff. It comes out so easily with this stuff, and it's a very safe product too. Yeah.
Okay.
But those are some of my favorites.
No, this is awesome. And of course she has these Life by Alco
palettes
and stuff, which look at these colors, ladies.
Yeah.
I mean,
so the cool thing about this system, right?
Yes.
Because these are our eyeshadows, and of course we have blushes, and we have colored powders and various things. So our system of makeup works on customizable palettes.
Okay.
So all of these come in a metal pan, and all of our palettes are magnetized. So you can actually pick and choose what goes into each one, and then how great is it when you run out of the one color that everybody runs out of first? You just pop that out, pop a new one in, and you don't have to get another whole palette of eyeshadows, right?
So if somebody wants to come in and have this wonderful treatment and pampering, tell us how they can find you, your contact information, and do you have any specials? I know that's a lot of questions I just put at you, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
Yeah, so how to contact me. I'm most active on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
You can search Sherry Bay Restifo, and that's my personal account where I actually do lives sometimes and you know, go through tutorials and things like that. Or you can look at my business Facebook page, which is Sherry Restifo Beauty Studio.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that will just kind of encompass both the facials and the makeup side of stuff. And then on Instagram, I'm just at Sherry Restifo, and that's pretty much throughout all platforms like Twitter and Pinterest and all of them. I try to stay really consistent with just my name, so I'm easy to find. And then other than that, my phone number, should I give them my phone number?
Give a phone number, and don't you have a location? Don't you have an actual brick and mortar?
I do actually have a room that I rent out in a beautiful studio called Salon Sequence in Wesley Chapel. Yep, it's right off of Bruce B. Downs. And it's a part of, sort of part of the professional, like a hidden part of the professional parks of Seven Oaks. So if you guys are familiar with the Dunkin' Donuts and a New York pizza, we're like to the side of that.
She asked if we were familiar with the Dunkin' Donuts. Can you tell? A little bit.
Gosh.
I'm a little bit familiar with the Dunkin' Donuts, but not so much now because I am trying to take care of my body.
Good for you.
I am trying to watch what I put in my mouth and portions and those things, and that also helps your skin.
Yes.
When you eat right and you
100%,
hydrate with water.
Yes.
I think that's wonderful.
Everything that you intake, unfortunately, manifests on your skin.
Did you give a phone number?
No. So the phone number is 703-980-2377. It is a Virginia number.
Oh,
That is not a mistake. I'm originally from Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And it's kind of like that Sex and the City episode where she doesn't want to give up her New York number.
Oh yes, you love your phone number.
I don't want to give up my number. It's
That's
the very first cell phone number that I ever had from the 1990s.
That is awesome. And I'm sure that there are women out there that feel the same way. I'm from Florida. I'm a Floridian, and I've had several numbers and wasn't really allowed to have a cell phone growing up until I got to a certain age. So, but no, I do want to actually ask you a question. I know that we've been talking.
Of course.
Do you have any specials?
Okay, so your first time visiting my space is $10 off.
Okay.
I do pride myself on my signature facial, which is typically $85. So if you come in for the first time, it'll be $75.
Okay.
I also have birthday specials. So on your birthday month, you get $10 off, like an additional $10 off. And if you are a part of some of these other networking organizations, I also give an extra discount. So
that's wonderful. I just say that's in line with pretty much everybody else. You're competitive, and I think that's good. And when you go in and you get a service, and it's that great, it's a great service, and it will help us, and it helps women. I think it's wonderful. But I heard something, and I want to ask if it's true.
Okay.
Did you meet your husband on a dating site?
I did.
Oh my goodness, lady. She met her husband on a dating site.
Yes.
How exciting. Tell us about that.
So this is really
We're about to get the dirt. We're about to get the dirt.
So if there were ever a person to meet their husband online, it would have been me, because I actually, if you remember, back in the mid-90s, when AOL was really popular and the chat rooms.
Yes.
I was doing chat rooms back in the mid-90s when it was really taboo.
Yeah.
And I was meeting and dating guys from the chat rooms.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them were long distance, some of them became pen pals, some of them we just talked on the phone. And back then, if you remember, there were no cell phones, there were no free long distance. So we were paying long distance fees for these phone calls. So I actually was dating through that and meeting several gentlemen and stuff through that, through the chat rooms. That's actually how I met my first boyfriend. Was in the AOL chat room. He lived 4 hours away. So anyway.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so fast forward. Okay, so now we're back in probably in the 2000s, early 2000. I started putting myself on Match.com.
Okay.
But I had hesitations about actually posting my photo because I grew up in Northern Virginia my whole entire life, and the last thing I wanted was to get recognized by people.
Right.
So I was one of those
people.
doing
it incognito.
Yeah, I was one of those people that would put myself out there but not post my picture, but I would send them my picture once we started talking.
Right.
So, I did that up until 2006 is when I decided that I was fed up with the guys that I was meeting outside of Match, and I decided to go ahead and post my picture up in 2006.
So how
January.
long after you posted that you met him, how long?
2 weeks.
Oh my God! 2 weeks. That's wonderful.
2 weeks. Well, I didn't meet him 2 weeks later. He messaged me 2 weeks later, and we started talking, and then we probably met about a month and a half after he messaged, or a month after he messaged.
I find that you're very bold in doing that. There's some women who obviously are a little worried about doing that, and especially now. Have you seen that catfish show?
Yes.
Where they get catfish and everything.
Yes.
So you do. I do think you have to be careful, but it seems to me like you kind of were rolling along and you knew how to handle it.
Well, yeah.
You know, you knew what to look for.
I will say that the time in 2006 when I was really serious about finding my husband, my profile was completely different. I really was very specific in my profile, and I was very specific about actions in my profile.
Right.
And I helped two of my girlfriends revise their match profiles, and they happened to find their husbands as well.
Oh my goodness. You are a matchmaker.
I think
not only are you an esthetician and you're a makeup artist, and I know you do weddings,
I do bridal makeup.
You do bridal makeup, and she'll come and take care of, like, if you need video done.
Yes.
Like, I should have had her do my makeup today. Don't say anything, ladies. We got to encourage and support one another. Yes. But my whole point is that that is wonderful that you were able to help two of your girlfriends.
Yes. So I'm a big believer. I'm a big believer in meeting someone in that way, because to me, it was always important to find out a little bit more about the person, like, rather than just the outer part of it. You know, if him and I couldn't have a conversation or have other things in common, then to me it really wasn't worth meeting someone. You know, so I believe in it.
At the end of the day, if you can't have a conversation and it's just going to be from the outer, it's really not going to last that long. And if you do end up getting married, unfortunately, if you don't have things that are compatible through the rough times, are you really going to get through it? Right? And
hard.
Marriage is hard enough, and I love being married. I've been married for 37 years. We've been through the bumps, the potholes, the every kind of thing you can think of, and I think that and believe it or not, me and my husband are very different than one another. I'm more social and outgoing. He is very much more reserved and laid back, but once you get to know him, he's got a funny sense of humor, and just a great all-around guy. And I've seen your guy; he's not bad.
Yeah,
he's very easy on the eyes, ladies.
He's a cutie. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that your husband's also kind of opposite of you. My husband is also extremely opposite, but I feel like that was part of the reason why he ended up being the one.
Yes.
Because I don't want to say that I had a type before him, but I would say that I sometimes went for the players and, like, the people that weren't quite as genuine and nice. Right. And I can honestly say my husband is one of the most nicest people out there. Like, I don't think he could hurt a fly if he wanted to. You know? So that
my husband just bought an AR, so you know. I mean, he won't hurt anybody with it. I don't think so. I mean, he's being prepared, people. You know, obviously, but I get what you're saying. My husband's he wouldn't do that either. But my point is that we're all different. I don't mind having a gun or having that type of thing in our home, because, you know, I do believe in that, but I do also believe too that, like, I don't really want to shoot a gun.
Of course,
right?
Absolutely. It's just in the dire need that you have to protect you or your loved ones.
Girl, I have a knife somewhere hidden in my.
I used to do that.
Yeah, I had a knife, and I've got all kinds of things in my room I can hit somebody with, and it's all But thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
Listen, is there an encouraging word that you would like to give to our wonderful women who kind of feel like, you know, I don't look so good, and I'm always putting my hair in a ponytail, and, you know, I think every woman is beautiful in her own way. God has created 100%. Us. We are beautiful. He's created us in His image, and we're all beautiful. But sometimes you do feel a little low, and I want to say to you, be encouraged.
Yes.
You know, you know, maybe get somebody to come over if you can, and take a little bit of time and have a nice little hot bath.
Yes.
Go to Sherry Restifo's place and get a nice facial. And if you want to learn how to do your makeup, she's excellent at that. As you can see, she's beautiful. We're all beautiful. And go ahead and just give some kind of an encouraging word for us, Sherry.
Yeah, I thank you for allowing me to do that. But I will say, just like you, when I meet women and when I meet a person, I really truly see a lot of beauty that happens, and whether or not the person is really feeling it or not, I see it. And so to me, like, and growing up the way that I did, when I told you that I was being made fun of every single day, and I hated the way that I looked, and I did not want to look different. I think when you are at peace with yourself and you really start to appreciate the things about you, that, you know, I want people to look at themselves without the makeup, without anything, and I want you to really see yourself as the most beautiful person, you know, because to me it's like whatever is inside shines through anyways.
Yes.
But once you start to really appreciate yourself and your own features and all of that stuff, it really does affect the way that you show up in your own life and in your own world. And it is a beautiful thing when you can start looking at yourself and really start appreciating what you actually possess already.
I think that's amazing, and I just want to let you know that Jesus loves you, and Sherry and I love you, and you are beautiful inside and out, and we're both beautiful inside and out. We all have our own talents. So I want to say thank you, Sherry Restifo, you so amazing, much. Beautiful woman, you coming on Classie and Sassy. And give them your phone number one more time.
703-980-2377. A lot of people ask if I have a booking system, and that would be me. I like to personally handle it. I like to personally interact with you. So please reach out to me.
Make sure you reach out to her, everybody. Thank you today for joining Classie and Sassy, where we're celebrating let me get it right. Let me get it right, okay? See, even I make a mistake from now and again. So thank you for visiting Classie and Sassy today, but we're celebrating women one conversation at a time, and it is okay to go on Match.com and look for but make sure you pray first, because I believe God has that man for you. And if you're not married, you're just sitting there, do something, but make sure you pray, because he will send you your knight in shining armor. And we love you, and thank you again here at Classie and Sassy, celebrating women one conversation at a time. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Sherry. Bye, everybody.
Bye.